Did the governor fall short, or did he hit the mark on ethics reform? What did you come away with?
So he proposed I think the big one to look at in terms of ethics reform is what to do with outside income. Outside income was clearly connected to the two high-profile convictions, the former speaker, the former majority leader, but there's actually a long list of convictions over the past number of years that are related to outside income. Espada, Kruger, and the list goes on and on. Discrimination, or corruption doesn't discriminate between parties in Albany, so it's Republicans and Democrats on this list, both chambers as well. So the big one to me is outside income, what to do with it. I know that some people feel that limiting or banning outside income might restrict who can run for office here in New York State. I don't hold that opinion. The governor proposed a 15%, if we're talking congressional model, limit on outside income. That's what they have in Congress. To me, if you look at the years since that started in Congress, there has been very little outside income related corruption. I think that congressional model has by and large worked down in D.C. I mean, they've got lots of other problems, but that recently hasn't really been one of them. So I think the governor's proposal is worth looking at. I would even go further and consider a ban on outside income. But any colleagues that I have, I know the Senate, by and large, with one or two exceptions, Senator Bonasek, for example, is against even limiting outside income, the Senate Republicans, I should say. But at the end of the day, we need to make sure we don't add names to that very long list of outside income-related corruption in New York State, and I think this is the way to do it. I mean, the potential for conflict is too ripe, and this is the only way to tackle that issue. We can look at some other issues as well. Closing the LLC loophole is something that I think is so common sense, and it's infuriating that it hasn't already happened. Even though the governor collects a lot of LLC money, he is on the record stating he would sign a bill to close that loophole. He said it again yesterday. He said it last year. The Assembly, we passed a bill to close the loophole in 2015. I don't know why the Senate won't do it. LLCs give money to both Democrats and Republicans, so it's not like they're only given to Republicans and they don't want to put themselves at a disadvantage. I think the Democratic governor is the largest recipient of LLC money, so it's not a partisan issue in terms of where the money is going.
And it showed up prominently in both corruption trials.
That's right. Glenwood Management down in New York City, which is, it's shocking that the Board of Elections, I think it was some 20 years ago, made this ruling in the first place, establishing that LLCs are in effect individuals when it comes to when it comes to giving. I can own 50 LLCs. I have a limit of $50,000 or thereabouts for statewide officers. But if I can give $50,000 to each of my 50 LLCs to candidates, why even have limits then?
Among the reforms, among the things you mentioned under the heading of reform in your statement yesterday was greater disclosure. Where does there need to be greater disclosure? What's hidden right now?
Well, so the governor pushed for stronger, especially for lawyers, disclosure last year, and it got pretty watered down. The nexus of former Speaker Silver's case was, of course, these hundreds of thousands of dollars in referral fees getting kicked back to him after referring mesothelioma clients to his law firm. And even with the new disclosure laws, you're not compelled to make your clients known. And so if you've got someone of counsel right now, and I believe we still have members who are of counsel at different law firms in the legislature, if they were required to disclose to their clients, and then their list is no names, yet they're somehow pulling in $250,000 in outside income, I think we'd be able to reasonably tell that there's something fishy going on there. But right now, there's not a lot of disclosure in terms of listing specific clients, and so we're not able to gather that information.
Is that what you want for attorneys to disclose their clients?
Well, I think it's a double-edged sword, because if we're going to do that, I think we have to severely limit, or if we ban outside income, it becomes a non-issue. But the problem, if we continue allowing outside income and we force them to disclose their clients, is that most law firms probably won't hire an attorney who has to disclose their clients to the public. That's my impression. That's what I've been told by some of the legislators who are attorneys, is that we'd never get hired. So I think it has to go hand in hand with what we do with outside income. If we severely limit outside income to 15% or even lower, if it's a dollar amount, 10,000, 20,000, whatever it is, then I think that becomes less of a concern, and you'll be able to do some smaller legal work and still make some income. But if we allow free reign, then I think that is something we have to look at.